It started with a simple sentence. Someone should sleep on the floor. And just like that, the air changed. It was past midnight, the kind of hour where everything feels quieter, sharper. 5 teenage girls, 16 and 17 years old, were crammed into a queen-sized bed at Amanda's house. Giggles had faded. The comforter was twisted, limbs tangled. Every inch of space was a silent battle. Sleepovers are supposed to be fun, right? Junk food, whispered secrets, inside jokes. But that night, something else crept in. When Amanda made the suggestion, someone should sleep on the floor, she smiled, lightly, casually, like it was just a passing thought, like it wasn't aimed directly at someone. But it was. I knew it. I was that someone. She said she'd grab extra pillows and blankets for whoever volunteered, her voice sweet and even. And yet, right after she spoke, every girl in the room started chiming in, not with offers, but with excuses. One said she was small. Another mentioned how she barely took up any space. A chorus of quiet disclaimers, each carefully painting the same picture. Not me. I'm not the problem. It felt like a performance. And the role they needed someone to play was mine. I didn't say a word, but I felt it, deep in my chest, like a bruise no one could see, because I am undeniably the biggest one in the group. They didn't need to say it. They already had. And in that silence, I understood exactly what they wanted. They were waiting for me to do the right thing, to take the cue, to climb down off the bed and quietly remove myself, to make it easier for them. But I didn't. Maybe it was stubbornness. Maybe pride. Maybe I was just tired of always being the one expected to shrink. Minutes passed. No one moved. And finally, Amanda did. She got up off the bed, pulled together some pillows, and laid herself down on the floor. And with that, the temperature dropped further. You'd think it would end there, but it didn't. That's when Taylor, one of the girls lying closest to me, looked over and said something that still echoes in my head. "You shouldn't sleep on the floor in your own house," she said. "I think the person who takes up the most space should." It hit me like a slap disguised as etiquette. No one said my name. They didn't need to. The message was clear. You don't belong up here. And then came the whispers. It's still not enough room. I feel bad for Amanda. Whispers meant to be heard. I lay there, heart pounding in the darkness, suddenly hyper-aware of the edge of the bed beneath me, the warm bodies beside me. Every breath I took felt louder, heavier. No one asked me directly. That would have required honesty. Instead, they used suggestion like a knife. The next morning, nothing was said. No apologies. No acknowledgments. Just sleepy yawns and quiet packing. But the silence was louder than any fight, and all I could think was, why me? Yes, I take up more space. I know that. I'm not blind. I live in this body every day. But why does that mean I deserve less comfort, less kindness, less humanity? Was I selfish for not volunteering? Or was I just tired of always being the one expected to bend? Because here's the truth no one talks about. It's not about the floor. It's about what the floor represents. Being the one who's always too much. Being the one they make room for by pushing away. I didn't ask Amanda to sleep on the floor. She made that choice. She said it wasn't a big deal. But everyone else made it one. They turned her gesture into ammunition. And I was the target. I spent the rest of the night staring at the ceiling, pretending I couldn't hear the whispers, the sighs, the rustling. Pretending I couldn't feel the weight of their judgment pressing down on me, heavier than any blanket. I didn't sleep. Not really. I kept thinking about every sleepover we'd had before. Every moment I'd laughed too loud, eaten too much, taken up too much room. And I wondered, had they always been thinking this? Had this always been beneath the surface? Or had it only come out now, when comfort was scarce? What stings the most isn't what they said, it's what they didn't. No one asked me how I felt. No one cared. Their comfort was worth more than my dignity. So I stayed on the bed. And for that, I was punished. So, am I the asshole? You know, sometimes the sharpest cruelty wears a soft voice and a polite tone. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It hides behind smiles and just suggestions. But you feel it. The floor, in this story, wasn't just a sleeping spot. It was a line, a message. And our storyteller was being asked, quietly, cleverly, to step over it, to accept her place below. And when she didn't, they made her pay. Here's the thing about friendships at that age. Hell, at any age, they're supposed to make you feel safe. Like you're part of something. Not like you're on trial every time you enter a room. What we witnessed here wasn't just bad planning or a cramped bed. It was exclusion by implication. It was using size as a silent scapegoat. And worse, it was treating one person's body like it came with less worth. Let me be very clear. You are not required to erase yourself for the comfort of others. You are not required to volunteer for shame, so someone else can sleep easier. You don't owe the floor to anyone. And to the girls in that room, especially the ones who claimed they were so small and didn't take up any space, maybe next time you could make room for something bigger, like empathy, like honesty. Because comfort isn't just about space on a bed. It's about how we make people feel when the room gets tight, when tension rises, when the moment demands something real. That's when we see who people really are. So, here's my question to you, listener. What do you do when someone expects you to shrink? Do you give in? Do you fight back? Or do you, like our storyteller, quietly draw the line and live with the fallout? Let me know in the comments, because this isn't just her story, it's all of ours. This has been AITA Stories, where real moments meet real questions. And sometimes, the hardest ones don't have easy answers. Until next time, stand your ground, even if the floor is more comfortable.